In this episode, the trailer, you're going to do two things. One, get used to the sound of my voice, and two, learn a lot more about what inspired this, my new podcast, Aging Wisely. So whatever you're doing and however you like to enjoy listening to podcasts, I hope you stick around and listen. Welcome to Aging Wisely, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm Veronica Escobar. I'm the creator and producer. I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself and for you to learn about my podcast. My ultimate goal is to educate. I want you to reimagine, redefine, reframe, and renew discussions about and around aging and disability. I want you to learn and care. I'm a practicing elder and special needs law and trust and estates attorney in New York. I counsel and advocate for older people, persons with disabilities, and their families. In almost 17 years, I've seen and heard quite a bit. What surprises me most? How much people don't understand. How people don't realize that they already have the power to make positive changes in their lives. And how much people just don't know what they don't know. What do older people and those with disabilities have in common? A lot. There's definite overlap. As attorneys, we often use the same legal tools to help both communities. Sometimes the communities are one and the same. Some people are born with a disability. Some become disabled later in life. Yet others become disabled as they enter old age. In my opinion, they are two of the most vulnerable populations in our country and the world. They face complicated and emotional issues. Aging conjures up different emotions in people. It can be joyful, liberating, appealing, but it can also be sorrowful, terrifying, and feared. Aging can also just be really lonely. The lives and needs of disabled people can sometimes be dismissed, diminished, or even violated. But they also live full, engaged, and productive lives, and they contribute to our society. Because I'm an attorney, the podcast is absolutely going to talk about legal topics and issues. Why? Because, and I'm being perfectly honest here, there are a lot of you who don't understand the law and how it's meant to protect you. You don't take advantage of what's available. And that really bothers and concerns me because you and your well-being are a worthwhile investment. I tell every one of my clients, it's always better to be proactive as opposed to reactive in planning and life. And the reason is pretty simple. Proactivity catches you in a good place. Reactivity is the exact opposite. You're reacting, usually from a place of negative emotion, and that's rarely a good thing. Most importantly, the law is a part of your life, whether you understand or appreciate it. My goal is for you to do both. But the podcast isn't just about the law. There are many people, spaces, and professions that advocate for and work to promote the dignity, self-determination, and human rights of older people and those with disabilities. They educate others too. They have a home here. You're going to meet them. Why did I choose the name Aging Wisely for the podcast? People sometimes use the terms knowledge and wisdom interchangeably. They aren't the same at all, but they're absolutely connected. When I was researching the relationship between wisdom and knowledge, I came across a lot of quotes, but I think that there were two that really stood out for me. Alfred Lord Tennyson once said, "Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers." Lao Tzu said, "To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, remove things every day." To me, Lao Tzu's quote is the perfect definition of wisdom. Like I said earlier, I want you to learn and care, but I also want you to become a better version of yourself. I want you to become wise about your present and future. What will season 1 look like? I'm calling it the foundation season. I'm going to be looking at important and foundational issues in the aging and disabled communities. I chose them based on my own personal and professional experience. Using these episodes as a starting point, I'm going to dive deeper in season 2 and hopefully beyond. There are going to be solo and interview episodes. There will be episodes about legal topics, and sometimes I won't be the only lawyer talking. There are going to be episodes outside of law looking at issues that are vital to older people and those with disabilities. They might even be in the guest seat. Podcast episodes will be released every 2 weeks, bi-weekly. But sometimes there might be special episodes, and those will be announced. And for those of you who are bicultural and bilingual, like me, you'll be happy to learn that there is also a sister podcast called Aging Wisely, you guessed it, en Español. That podcast will be releasing episodes once a month. As you're listening to this trailer, I've been recording episodes for about 6 months. The first season has definitely been an adventure, and there's an absolute learning curve. Audio creation is really hard work. Some call it a labor of love. While I share in that sentiment, it's also just pure labor. The world of podcasting is brand new to me. Season 1 is all about trying new things, and this is where you, the listener, is incredibly important. If you like an episode, please tell me, and also tell me why you liked it. If you'd like me to possibly address a topic in the future, let me know that too. It may have already been recorded or in the works. If you didn't like an episode, you can absolutely provide constructive feedback. Emphasis on the word constructive. Where can you reach me? My podcast has a home, a website, where you'll always be able to find me. www.agingwiselypodcast.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter. You can listen to and also learn more about the episodes, and you can also drop me a line or two. I also have a listener line, which I will announce during every episode. And lastly, the podcast is on social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It even has a LinkedIn page, and YouTube. I am making this podcast for you. In some ways, it's a classroom. I want you to finish an episode learning something new, dismantling your own preconceptions, feeling empowered to reimagine everything. I want you to age wisely. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I appreciate it more than you know, and I'm hoping to get to know you better as the season progresses. I hope that you come along on this journey with me. I've learned so much just by producing this podcast, and I can't wait to see what else is in store.